Hi students, welcome back. Today we are going to continue on looking at our geometric shapes. Today we're going to be looking at something called composite shapes. And composite shapes are shapes that are not a standard shape or size. It's a bunch of shapes kind of smushed together as one. And today we're going to focus just on perimeter. So remember, perimeter is as if we're walking around the outside of the shape. And for perimeter, all we have to do is add. So it's not going to be a super hard skill today. So if we take a look at this shape here, this is an example of a composite shape. So you'll notice that it's kind of an irregular shape. It kind of looks like we've smashed together a rectangle. So our rectangle would be, this shape down here. And a trapezoid, or trapezoid would be this kind of top shape up here. And we put those two together. Now, it's important that we remember today we're talking about perimeter. So what I want you to imagine is that we're going to walk around the outside of this shape. And so in order to find the perimeter, all we have to do is add. We need to be really careful that we do not miss any of the side lengths because that's going to be really important when we're doing our perimeter. So we'll notice that we've got quite a lot of numbers going on here, and some of them are even a little bit hard to see because they're a little bit smashed together. So I will help you with that. But one of the things I recommend when we're doing perimeter is that we simply trace the sides as we go. So here we go. We've got this side here, which is 8, plus this side here, which is 6, plus this side here, which is 12, plus, now this side is tricky. You might get confused by why there's so many numbers there. So let me make sure I clarify. This 8 that we're seeing right here, the 8 is actually talking about the entire distance. So that's the number we would want to use. And again, the image is not the best that it could be, but that's what it's talking about. This 2 right here, and then anytime there's a side that does not have a value, we need to make sure that we figure it out. Now in this particular shape, because it's a slant, we actually don't have enough information yet to figure out that side. So at this point, because that side was not given to us, we wouldn't be able to find the total perimeter. We'd have part of it missing. In other shapes, we're going to look at strategies that we can figure out those missing sides. So this particular problem is missing a piece of information. So all we would be able to do is leave it at this point. Now this next shape is a little bit different. It's half of a circle and it's a rectangle kind of put together. So the first thing I'm going to do is kind of fill in any of the missing sides. Now I know that rectangles have opposite sides that are congruent. So I know that this side and this side are the same measure. And because I was given an 8 over here, that means that I can write in an 8 over here. Now where this gets a little tricky is with this semicircle. And you might remember that we just looked at finding circumference. Circumference would be the entire distance around an entire circle, which is pi times diameter. And if I was finding the entire circle, that would be great. But I'm not finding the entire circle. I'm looking at a semicircle. So I'm only looking at half of that circle. So I just want this portion here in purple, which all I would have to do to the formula is add 1/2. So I'm going to go ahead and find that curved distance first. So I have circumference equals 1/2, because I'm only looking at half of a circle, times 3.14 times my diameter of 8. And at this point, feel free to use your calculator. So for 1/2, I'm typing in 0.5 times 3.14 times 8, and I find that that purple distance is 12.56. So I can write that in here. Now I'm ready to go ahead and find my perimeter around the entire shape. So again, I really recommend that we trace. So the curved portion we just figured out, 12.56, plus, right here I have a 12, plus, right here I have an 8, plus, right here I have 20, plus, right here I have 8 more. And again, to do the addition, you are welcome to use a calculator to add all those numbers up. So I'm typing those into my calculator, and I get my total perimeter at 60.56 inches. And that is how we find the perimeter of a composite shape.